Okay, we're going to talk about the Section 8 carbon dioxide emissions worksheet. So this is all about carbon dioxide. So you can read through instructions here, but there's also a PDF and an Excel file. So you want to open up both of these files. Okay, so if we start with the PDF, there's the PDF up here. Okay, what it shows is all the different countries here and how many millions of tons of carbon they emit and their population, and then what percent of the global total they are contributing. All right, and so that's basically it. They got some reference up down here. And then what you want to do is answer these 6 questions. So they want you to determine average CO2 emissions of the top 10 countries. So here's the CO2 emissions. What is the average of these top 10? They want you to calculate per capita emissions for each country. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but per capita emissions are emissions per capita. So this number of emissions divided by population. All right, and then you want to find the mean and median of the top 10, and you're going to write a few paragraphs about various questions here. Okay, so this says you'll need to submit a Word document with your written responses, and you can do calculations in Excel. What I would do is we can actually do both of these in Excel. We don't need to do a Word document. So it says you need one. If you really want to turn in your answers on Word, you can. But let's talk about how to do answers in Excel so you have less documents to turn in. Alright, so if we go over to our spreadsheet, this is something I want to be able to modify here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Do like 170. Alright, so one thing you can do here is you can insert rows and insert columns and just make your life a little easier. So I'm going to go to 15 and right click and hit insert, and I'm going to go here and insert average. Now, anytime you insert something, go ahead and change it to a different color so I know that you made that adjustment. And then I can just go equals mean, or not mean, just kidding, equals average. And then you can highlight everything. Okay. And I made this calculation myself, so I want to, change the color. Okay, so now I found the average of all these, and I didn't even have to, do anything on a separate sheet. Okay, so I want to add a few columns here. Let's right click here and insert. I want per capita emissions. And that was one of the things I asked for. Now to get per capita emissions, you would think, well, let's just take emissions divided by people. Alright, 0, that's not very big. So no emissions per person in China. Well, it's doing that because this is in millions and that one's not. So we need to fix this. We need to get this so it's not in millions anymore. So let's delete that for now. I want to insert another column. So right click on C and insert. Let's do emissions again. But I'm going to get rid of the millions. I want it so it's not in millions. So what I can do is I can take that number there and let's multiply it by 1 million. So what that does is it takes this number and it adds those 6 zeros onto it. Okay, I could do that for every single one of these, or to save time, just click on the top one. I got a white cross here, move to the bottom corner, drag it down, and let go. All right, and so all this stuff here, I just did that. This is my work. This is all going to be my work too. So make sure you're throwing those in so I can tell what it is that you did versus what was given to you. And now if I do per capita emissions, I can take emissions per person. Okay, and that looks a little bit better. Once again, there's no way it's exactly 2. If you go up here to the top, you have a increased decimal. You can add a few decimal places. So they like to round it a lot sometimes. I like this better. This is a little more accurate. Right, and then once again, you can take that, go down here and drag it all the way down. I'll leave that to you guys. So drag that down, and so now we have some really good data on here. All right, when I come back to the question then, it wants me to determine the average CO2. We've actually already done that. You can finish up number 2. They have a question here, 3. It says, write a paragraph explaining whether total emissions or per capita emissions are better. What I would do is go over to here, maybe at the bottom, type in something like question 3, and then start typing your answer here. If you get really far over, there's a couple things we can do. One thing that you can try is let's take A and maybe make it a little bit wider like that. It's going to make your table look a little bit funny, but that's okay for now. And then click on that and hit wrap text. So what wrap text does is it allows you to keep on typing, but it'll just put things on multiple lines, so it looks more like a paragraph. The only issue with that is depending on how wide you make that, it'll adjust all the cells above. So one way around that would be, let's get rid of that, maybe put it over here up off to the side. Right, ooh. Let's undo that for now. That was weird. I'm just going to redo it up here. So you could do, question 3, and then you can pick the width you want, maybe like that. Alright, and so now, if I delete that, I don't have to make my cell A so wide anymore. I can make that a little bit shorter. Let's put an N there for my question. Oh, that's not 3. And so now I can start typing in here. I can make this a wrap text box. So when I get to the end of that, it'll go to the next line. All right. No matter what you do, it's going to kind of adjust one of your cells in here. So, but I'll be fine. So take all that, make it red or whatever color you choose, and then that way I know you did that. Okay, there's also going to be a question 5, so you can have another one below with your question 5 answer. Okay, so you can put your 2 answers up here on the right, or put them below, put them somewhere on there. Last thing you want to do is you want to find the mean and median per capita, the mean and the median of the per capita emissions. So what that's asking you to do is you have a column right here. You want to find the mean and the median of these top 10 countries. Okay, don't go all the way down to here because this is just the average. You only want to do the mean and median of these top 10. Okay, and you can put that wherever you want. You can put it down here. The mean of top 10, or mean of the per capita for top 10. And then under there, just do equals average and highlight your top 10. And so basically, as you fill this out, just make sure everything, we'll delete that for now. Everything you do, just make sure you change it to that one color. Then when I come into grade, I can look and see where all your work is. And I can go back to here and make sure you answered all these. Okay, so these 3 you can put on the Excel sheet. If you really don't want to put them on the sheet, you can put them in a Word document. That'd be okay too. But you can do these first 2 definitely in the Excel. Okay, so when you get done, either submit just your Excel file or submit the Excel with a Word if you don't want to type in the Excel sheet. And that is that.